Hello and welcome to Rebels Radio, latest interview. I'm joined by Slough Joint Manager Neil Baker. How are you, Neil?
I'm good, thanks, John.
Yeah, been a busy last few weeks for you in terms of the player front. Do you want to take us through the updates?
Yeah, obviously myself and John have been very busy talking to potentially new players to join the club. We sat down with our lads sort of 10 days after the season finished. It was only two really with Jake Parsons and Jay Dillon that weren't coming back. They were both our choices. Jake's been great lad for us, and he's got real quality, but unfortunately he's had the injury issues, and we just decided that we needed to probably move on from that. So and with Jay lives sort of Dunstable way or Hitchin way, and if I'm honest, we're looking to bring somebody else in, and we just felt that was the right decision as well.
And then on to the new signings. Obviously, you've been looking around, having plenty of conversations. You've announced 3. I'm expecting there's been a lot of other conversations. Have ever any kind of missed the boat?
No, not at the moment. We're, the players that we've been talking to, we're still in for the vast majority of those. There's 1 or 2 that we didn't actually have sit down with that we won't be signing that we might like to have, but for whatever reason that hasn't happened. But no, we've announced 3 today in Simon Dunn, Harrison Gilks and Gavin James. 3 that we wanted. Simon or Dunny, we've known since we were at Godalming. We actually took him for a game on loan as he was coming through the youth setup at Basingstoke, and he came in and done brilliant for us in the one game, and then to be honest, he's just gone on from strength to strength at Basingstoke, and he was a big part of their team that got to the playoff final season before last, and he's just a very good player. We're delighted to have him. Hungry as well, works in Reading, so location wise it's really good, and we're delighted to have him on board. Same with Harrison. I've known Harrison since he was 15. I used to do a pre-season training session with him when he was at Bournemouth, and a number of players used to get together in Basingstoke. I've always kept an eye on him, and obviously when he signed for Poole, not last season, season before, we got to have a good look at him, and he tore us apart, and was part of a very good Poole side that almost should have won the league. So delighted we've got him. He has still got to have. He might not necessarily be fit for the whole of pre-season and things like that, but we know what we're going to be getting from Harrison. So, and then Gavin James is the third one that we brought in. Gav has played locally for Beaconsfield and Maidenhead in the past. He had a bad injury. I think he broke his leg at one point, where I think he was out the game for about 18 months. I think it took him a little bit of time to get back. I know, having spoken to him, he was before he went to Flackwell, he was considering knocking it on the head, but he got persuaded to go to Flackwell, and obviously went and had a fantastic season with culminating in the international call-up. Then he went to Maidenhead, and he probably didn't play as much as he was hoping and expecting, but I saw him. I've seen him a few times, and he's got raw pace. He's strong, and he knows where the goal is. So we're delighted to have him on board as well.
So filling a few holes in a few key positions. I know there's a lot of speculation about other people. Are you able to say what areas you're now looking at to strengthen?
Yeah, we still want to bring another centre forward in. We only finished with Lee last season. Lee was our only recognised centre forward. So we want to bring another forward in. Obviously want to bring a centre half in, and a left back. They're the 3 sort of priority positions for us at the moment. We are down the line with all 3 of those positions, and hopefully we can make a few more announcements in the coming weeks. We've also got a number of good players coming pre-season that we haven't necessarily offered a deal to, but we're very interested in, and we've sort of given them the sort of task of coming down to try and earn themselves a deal, and there's probably 4 or 5 that I can say are coming down that are real positive players.
And what sort of level are they from? Are they from?
One's been playing at this level, couple level below, sort of around step 3, step 4. I think there's one coming in from step 5 as well. We're really pleased with where we feel we're going to be pre-season. I mean, we'll probably have 3 keepers pre-season. Obviously, Scotty, Luke Williams will be coming back, and there might be another familiar face, in goal that comes to work hard in pre-season and try and push Scotty. We're in a good position at the moment, I think.
And in terms of the existing squad, there's obviously a few players who perhaps were on the fringes of your thoughts, and what's your approach going to be with them?
Well, they, don't need to go into names and things like that. We've had individual conversations with all the players. They know where they what they need to do. There's 2 or 3 that need to come back and really hit the ground running and show that they want to be a big part of what we plan to do next season, and they know that, and they're prepared to do that. So and I'm sure they will. So we'll see. I'm sure between now and the start of the season there'll be a few more changes and whatever else. But that's what happens when you're part of a club that's moving into a brand new stadium, and what's actually going to be a very, very exciting year.
And in terms of the squad size that you'd ideally like to turn up on that first match day in August, what sort of squad size are you going to be looking to have?
Well, I mean, it's difficult. We want to have good numbers going into the season. That can sometimes change as you progress through the season, but we'll be looking to have as many as we can. There's obviously only 16 places available in a squad, so it can sometimes be very difficult to sort of keep too many more beyond that. However, what tends to happen pre-season is you tend to find 1 or 2 pick up injuries. You still find 1 or 2 end up being away or for whatever reason, or weddings and things like that. So it's important that we go in strong, and we won't be short in terms of numbers this season. I think that's probably something that you could probably label it, myself and John. In previous seasons, we've probably gone in at times a little bit light, so that when we have missed 1 or 2, it has affected us. So we're trying to make sure that we're not in that position this season, and we'll just keep reviewing it as the season progresses.
And in terms of pre-season games, there's been again a fair amount of discussion about quality, location, etc. There's quite a lot of interest in them.
Yeah, I mean, pre-season's always very difficult. We've had to base not being able to play at the new stadium because as far as we're concerned, we won't be in the stadium till the 16th of August. So we've had to work a pre-season campaign around playing away from home. It's never that easy. I know people would love to be playing conference sides and league sides, but it's just not possible when you haven't got a home ground to invite people to. We're pretty pleased with what we're doing. We're doing 4 games, I believe, on 3G, 4 games on grass. Pre-season is very much similar. Where half the sessions will be on grass, half the sessions will be on 3G, because it's important that we get to learn how to play on 3G as a group of individuals, as a team, and as a management team. We have clear ways of how we want to play next season, and we've got to get that over to the lads. So it's important that we have a number of sessions and games on that surface to sort of try and get us used to it.
And finally, in terms of fans interaction, are you going to be hosting an open session at all, or maybe a fans forum? Obviously, this is a big season for Slough, both on and off the pitch. Are you planning to do any sorts of events?
Nothing as such yet. It hasn't been discussed. Myself and John have always been pretty open. I think normally in the past we've often had a training night where we've said to people that they can come down and watch and ask questions, and if that's wanted or needed, then I'm sure that we can arrange something. But it's not something we've discussed at this stage.
Okay. Well, thank you ever so much for your update, and we'll look forward with anticipation for over the next few weeks of some further names. But enjoy the rest of your break, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Cheers, Sean.
Thanks.